Welcome back. Did you know that the average American gains about 1 pound body mass during the holidays? Today, I'm going to give you a tip, 7 tips, and ask you one big question to see if you want to make a different choice. All right, so welcome back. My name is Reggie. I build adaptive business leaders through compassion to health coaching at fitforfreelance.com. And it's Thanksgiving week here. Want to let you know that you don't have to gain weight just because it's the holiday season. And this comes up every year. The other day, my coworker even mentioned it, like, oh yeah, have fun, eat lots of pie. That's what the holidays are all about. And I was like, I don't know. So here's my video on it, talking about starting the stomach is the same size every day, 365 days in a year, and there's lots of holidays, but for some reason we have this mindset, this attitude, this idea that the holidays are just, that's what you do, right? You have this big meal, you have your family there, and that's all good. But the big question I want you to ask yourself is, what is your intent, right? So it's not to see how much you can eat if you eat a whole pie. I mean, some families do have traditions like that. Can you eat like half the turkey by yourself? How much stuffing? How tall can you pile your plate and clear the whole thing, right? Those are all fine. But the real question is, what is the intent? If you are celebrating thanks with your family and the people you care about and your friends, you have a Friendsgiving celebration, you're enjoying the good food that you only cook like twice a year. Some of you only cook twice a year. Some of you go into Boston Market too. I see you too. But the real intent is probably to enjoy the celebration. And what I want to do with this video is just to get you to question if you have to eat a lot to enjoy the holiday in order to celebrate it properly. I want to detach the intent of stuffing yourself like the Thanksgiving turkey, so you don't have those things paired together, right? They don't have to be the same thing. All right, so here are my 7 tips. The first one, to avoid holiday weight gain, because it can be a long stretch going November, December, or any holidays that you're celebrating. We have large feasts, right? First tip I have is stay active. Don't just sit in a recliner all day. So you can go outside for a walk, play some sports in the backyard, get exercise before or after your meal. That's a really good way to do it. Second tip, manage your stress. Holidays can bring a lot of stress. You're moving around, you got coordination happening, people moving across towns, and like, when are they coming in? What's the schedule? So all your food's hot at the same time. You might start thinking about shopping for other gifts, all that stuff. You want to manage your stress, and you want to think about those things before indulging in your food, right? So making sure you're like low stress, managed, thoughtful, and not all jumbled up is going to have a huge impact here. Next step, pregame meals and parties don't save your calories. I love this one because a lot of times people will be like, well, since I'm going to have such a big meal later, I don't want to, have too many calories for the day, so I'm going to skip breakfast, right? Don't do that. Or going to the party, if there's like an office party or a Christmas party, you go there and you're hungry. These things will lead you to overeat in those situations. So then you'll actually end up eating a lot more calories, a lot faster too, before you realize you're full. That's like a triple threat. And you don't even like save any calories, and it's just not a good look. So make sure to pregame meals, have a little snack before, have breakfast on the day of Thanksgiving, etc. Next step that I have here, drink plenty of water throughout the day. It's easy to get dehydrated. This is a key step in all kinds of prevention of weight gain, or the first step in weight loss is drinking lots of water, staying hydrated, because if you are dehydrated, you will feel like you're hungrier than you actually are, and that's going to affect how much you eat. And so this is always the first tip that I give my clients, to make sure that you're staying hydrated. That way you don't like snack on little foods and overeat. Fifth one I have here, keep it in proportion. So if you are going back for seconds and thirds, you want to try to make sure you're keeping your food types in proportion, right? The general guidance is having half your plates be fruits and veggies, the non-starchy vegetables. There's a link in the description for my 8 tips for Thanksgiving damage control blog. I want you to check that out. But basically, if you have non-starchy vegetables and greens, you put like half of those on your plate, you're going to eat a lot less of those high fat foods. So those starchier foods like the potatoes, etc. So keep it in proportion. Even if you're going back for seconds, just try to keep that ratio going. Don't like have a huge mountain mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and not a good, like a less than helpful balance of vegetables with it. That makes sense. Leave a like. All right. 6th step, go for taste, not volume. And this is huge for desserts. If you know what I'm talking about, nod your head, click that thumbs up button. If you're going for taste, you don't have to have like a whole full size slice of like the 6 different pies that are available. You can have a half slice or a sliver of the different ones to get a taste, right? Same with like the volume of food that you're eating. You don't have to pile your plate up with lots of food. You can have several tastes of all the food and really enjoy it like that, instead of like mouthfuls shoveling it. And that article that I have linked, it talks about, kind of the essential experience of food. I write some food poetry sometimes, and I got into that when I wrote the blog post. So check it out. 7th tip I have here, remember your intent. Don't worry about gaining weight. Now, this doesn't seem to match the rest of the things I was talking about. It's really about going back to the intent and focusing on that. If you're there for Thanksgiving, thanks, and enjoying people and having a good time, and part of that comes with eating like 18 pieces of pie and cake, and like 2 turkeys, like that's totally fine. We're the guilt-free weight loss coach over here, with guilt-free game plan. So don't feel bad about that. The thing is, if you focus on your intent and your purpose, or if you're able to bring that back to mind, right? You wonder on your 2nd plate, your 3rd plate, your 4th plate, when you go back for like, 4th meal or whatever, do I want to do this kind of thing? Is this the intent, or is this something that I'm doing to try to keep up? Am I saying yes when I mean no? Am I saying yes to myself and what I want to eat, etc.? So remembering your intent is the 7th step here. And what happens if you don't do these things, if you don't follow these tips, a lot of times people will feel like they could have done something differently, right? You're sitting on the couch like roly-poly. You feel like you had to unbutton your pants. You're having like that struggle food coma after Thanksgiving. And maybe that's part of the tradition and fun, but sometimes it can be very uncomfortable, right? And then that can go throughout the holidays. You got Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, other celebrations, a Christmas party, big Christmas dinner, and then all of that. The thing that could happen is you gain that pound or more. You don't lose the pound immediately. Then New Year's comes around. You start looking for all or nothing diets, crash diets, your New Year's resolution. And that's something that I kind of founded Fit for Freelance on, is, getting out of that all or nothing diets. That's frustrating. It's not sustainable. I'm suddenly going to go to the gym 7 times a day, 7 times a week as well, right? Like, it's not worth all that. So, what we're doing here with this video is some kind of damage control. And if you want more tips for damage control, you can check out my blog. The link is in the description below. 8 tips for Thanksgiving damage control. I'm running some ads to it this week too. I hope you get to check it out because that's a fun blog post. I enjoy it. And those are my 7 tips. Those blog post tips are actually different from the ones here. So you want to see that. 7 tips plus the big question I have here. What is your intent for the holidays? Leave a comment below. Tell me what's your favorite part of celebrating these big holidays, if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whichever you're celebrating with family or friends. All right. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing. Peace.